For today's exercise, we'll be expanding on exercise 10 that we completed earlier. So if you have exercise 10, go open it up. If you haven't created exercise 10, then go ahead and look back at the video for exercise 10. And when you're done, come back here and we'll get started. All right, now that you've had a chance to open up exercise 10 or create it, we're going to be adding to this document. So we're going to be inserting some columns and we'll be adding some more formulas and functions. So it's a little more practice in what we've already learned with a few extra things on the side. So to start with, in this exercise, we need to add another column. And so to add another column, all we're going to do is we're going to move the mouse up over the top of the last column that has information, so column F. And I'll put my mouse on F and click to highlight all of column F. All right, now that I've highlighted it, I'm going to go to the Home tab, and then over here there is Insert. And I can insert cells, and because the entire column is selected, when I click Insert Cells, it inserts a whole column of cells and keeps the current formatting. That's important. That's what I need to keep. All right, so hopefully you've added that extra column, and now what we're going to do is take this information that was in column F and is now in G, so the aromatherapy facial, all right, and we're going to copy that information and we're going to paste it into the location in column F where it was. And so there's a lot of ways to do that. You can press Control C, which is my preferred method, or as you saw there, I right-clicked and select Copy, or I can go up here and I can click on the Copy button. So many different ways to select Copy. All right, I'll simply go over to cell F5, and once I'm at F5, I will paste it. And so I'm going to press Control V, and it will automatically paste the information that I had. And I no longer need it here in column G, so I'm going to highlight column G and then press Delete. And delete is the same effect as clear. And notice that the formatting stays, but the text disappears. All right, so let's make column F a little larger so that it fits. And now I've managed to move all the data, and it automatically updated all the equations in that column as well. All right, now just to demonstrate the difference between copy and cut, all right, there we copied it, and notice it only copied the information. Here I'm going to cut, so I put the cursor at G3, and I'm going to press Control X, which is cut, and then I'll go to F3 and I will paste. And notice that it took everything. It took the formatting and it cut it all out, and then it pasted it in. So I didn't necessarily want to do that, so I'm going to undo. But that's how the difference between cut and paste. Cut and paste cuts everything out and moves it, whereas copy just takes everything and copies it to a new location, but leaves the formatting behind. All right. So in this last column where I've moved everything out, what I want to put in is weekly totals. All right. And weekly totals doesn't quite fit. I want it to wrap around. So remember, what I can do is highlight that, and I can go up here to the wrap text. All right. Now, because it doesn't fit, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller until it actually does wrap the text around. And I got to click on it again. There we go. There's our weekly totals. And I want to make sure that extra services sold is still set up there. In fact, I want to make extra services sold wrap around as well. All right, so there, notice it went too far. So if I click on it and I click wrap text and then wrap text again, it'll expand to the size I needed. Okay, all right, so we've adjusted that final column G. All right, and then down here at the bottom for weekly totals, we know that we can use equals sum. All right, so we wouldn't want to just add those up in our head, but instead we want to type in equals sum, and then put the open parenthesis, click and drag across, and put the close parenthesis, and now press enter, and we see the total. All right, and I can fill down that equation all the way to the bottom, and then the week 4 total I want to underline. So I have underlined text just like all the rest. So there I've added all the information for that last column. All right, the next thing that I want to do is I want to go and update some of the numbers. And so because I have used formulas or equations, right, to calculate my totals, when I update the information in each cell, it will automatically update those totals. So at cell number B8, I'm going to type in 665, and notice when I press enter, it automatically updated all of the totals that are associated with that. All right, we'll leave 550, we'll leave 575 and 600. Let's go to the next column. And in the next column, we want to change the 575 to 600. All right, and notice the totals have updated. And then we want 550 and 550. All right, so we should now have a total of $2,300 in that column. All right, and then we go up to the top of the hot stone massage. We have 445, 550, 575, and then the bottom number wants to be 625. All right, for a total of 2,195. All right, for the next column, we want the number 400 at the top cell. And then we'll go down, and that's it for that column. And then for the aromatherapy, we have 150, 300, 450, and then 300 in the last cell. All right, and gives us a total of 1,200, and then a grand total of 9,235. All right, so those are all the updates that we have. And we want to add another word over here. Notice that there's no word total. So I'm going to go to cell number A12 and type in total. And now I have the total label going across the page. All right. Okay, now we're going to add some percentages. And so to add percentage, I'm going to type the word percentage. And then at the first column, what I'm testing is I want to see what percentage is 2390 compared to 9,235. And so to get that percentage, I'm going to put in a division equation. So I go equals, and I click on 2390, and then I press the slash key, and the slash key is divided by, just like in a fraction. And then I'm going to click on the 9,235. And then once you see the equation equals B12 divided by G12, press enter, and you get a big long decimal. Well, I'm going to change that decimal to a percent by going up to the number format and clicking on percent. And then I'm going to add a couple decimal places so that I see 25.88. All right. Now I can do the same thing again in the next column. Press equals, click on the total for that column, divided by, and click on the grand total and press enter. And once again, we format for percents and add a couple decimal places. Now you might think, well, I can copy that equation all the way across. And so if I click and drag across, you'll see that no, you can't. All right, and the reason why is it says we have a division by zero. Okay, it's impossible to divide by zero in a math equation. So let's see why it came up with that error. And the reason why is that if I click here at cell C14 and then look at the equation up at the top and click on the formula bar, you can see that it is C12 divided by G12. The problem is, if I go to the next cell where the error is, it says D12 by H12. And if we go to H12, we notice that everything shifted over because when I copied the equation, it moved the first number over, but it also moved the second number over, and there's nothing at that location. Right? And so what we have to do is put in what's called an absolute cell address. And an absolute cell address means stay the same even when it's copied. And so the way you mark that is you put a $sign in front of the row, and you don't need to in this case, but I like to put them on both of them. And I'm going to put a $sign in front of the 12. So notice I modified the equation that was at C14. All right, I press enter, same number, nothing wrong with that, but now when I fill across, right, let's look at the equation. Notice that it's C12 divided by G12, but now as I press enter and I check each of those equations, notice that the G12 always stays the same, all right, because I put those $signs in there. It is absolutely G12, whereas the other one is called a relative cell reference. It means the one that's 2 rows above where I'm currently at. All right, and so as you copy it, it just stays what's 2 rows above where I'm at. Okay. All right, one last little bit of formatting. We're going to take that line and we're going to make it the purple that we have there. So we'll go up here and select from the standard colors, we'll select the purple, right? And then for the text color, we'll make it white. And there you've completed exercise number 14. All right, so make sure you save this correctly. Go to File, Save As. Save this in your H drive, in your Excel folder. And once again, we will call this Excel 14, all right, for exercise 14. All right, go ahead and save that, and when you're done, send it off to your teacher.